there's a lot of interesting things that are now. So now we've built a foundation, right? And it's not perfect yet, but that's the beauty of it. And with this now, you can say like, okay, I want to be introduced to that person. Who in my network is connected to that person? Who can introduce me to them? And the way also of like, okay, but now I need to write out a message to them. But you can essentially like base your message based on the context you have in your missions of what the system learned about you, and reach out to that person based on what context that person has and what is important to them. So suddenly there's a lot of like alignment between each other built naturally, which is not possible on LinkedIn. Like they just don't allow for that. And the beauty is we see that there's a huge trend of moving towards data sovereignty, especially in the EU, where a lot of people want to have their connections as theirs. So there's this big movement of moving away from the large tech providers, and we are building that platform with a high level of data security in mind. So all of the nodes you make, all of the connections you make, all of the messages you will send out through email, through LinkedIn, will be yours, and they're all encrypted in a way that not even us as the creators can look into it. Not even our CTO can look into what you're doing on the platform because it's encrypted. And that's really the beauty of it. Like we make sure everything is hosted and stored in the EU. It's your data, your network, your value, and you can always download your data from LinkedIn as a CSV and upload it into our platform, so that the value is really staying with you.
So I could just get completely off of LinkedIn if I wanted to. I could just download.
Yes, you can.
Yes, please.
Well, that's
Yes.
it's a revolution, right? It's really a symbiotic revolution, Andrew. And you know, as we like to say, the reason why I believe current tech providers don't use this is because their business model is not built for this. Their business model is to optimize attention and retention. So social media has not really connected us, right? Even Twitter or X, right? It's all about division. Oh, it's all about unity. It's all about connection. So we fundamentally come from a different point of view. Our background in leadership for sustainability, I've worked with digital ethics, right? I think there is something fundamentally different where we believe that AI is here to actually help us come into more alignment. And that alignment needs to happen across multiple layers, coming into alignment with the relationships that are closest to you, coming into alignment with your city, with the world, right? And trying to understand where are those mutually beneficial relationships. That's what symbiosis is all about. So our core belief comes with together we're stronger. And ultimately, we want to just remove the barriers that stop from two people who are meant to know each other to be able to find one another. And how can we give them the tools so that they can coordinate and share that information in a much more intentional way? So there's a lot of different things here that we are innovating around where we see, hey, this past 20 years of technological development was really a huge experiment on everyone. And I think we've reached a certain level of maturity where we must also understand how these technologies need to be developed moving forward so that we can be in right relationship with ourselves and the technology itself. So this is what really I'm extremely passionate about and what has brought us together. And I see these movements in the regenerative and the weavers. Everyone is trying to do that. And this is complex work. The issue is the tools are not built to navigate complexity. They're more than anything added on top of it. So
Totally. Yeah, I see how you're really expanding beyond this kind of like capturing people in a platform and allowing them to move beyond even their own network and explore resonance with other networks. And yeah, just the simple ability to group my, LinkedIn contacts of like people that I've met in person versus like people that randomly said, do you want to be my LinkedIn friend? And I said, accept. Because it's like, yeah, of course, I want to expand my network because they have it siloed, but you guys are building a way to break that silo and also a way to create groups of resonance. Like, yes, these people I know, I've met them in person, I trust them. These are the people I'm going to go to first.
And that's the beauty with like in the way of how we organize and orchestrate the data. That's why we believe it will not be possible on LinkedIn to have these insights, because only for us, we can, for example, ask questions of when did I connect with a group of people? AI can go back, do web search and be like, you connected with like 5-6 different people in a span of 2 days. You were maybe like at that event. So even event based can say like, okay, these people you connected with at that event, so you have met them in person versus somebody you've just connected with online, or here you have exchanged messages on this time. So it really is also that network memory built in, and you can really distill like, okay, where do you have more closeness in your network between people?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine once you start connecting MCPs and APIs and stuff together, how you can start looking at my email and my messages, and like I won't even have to track when the last time I contacted this person was. It's like it's just all going to get
you're exactly describing the infrastructure. Yeah,
cool.
I like to think of it like you have all of these different like components, right? Maybe this is your communication, maybe this is your a list of networks, whatever it may be. And right now they're sort of divided, right? When we don't want you to stop using the technologies that you love to use at this moment, what we're rather doing is kind of putting a blanket on top, like a mycelium that you would be able to bring, and it will adapt and adjust and start to collect all the information and make it interconnected. So it's really sort of even 6 different layers, right? Because the brain is also, there's different dimensions to it, right? So first is sort of that connector. It's what you just said. Can I get the information into the system from different sources? Yeah, and can these different sources communicate with each other, right? So that's the first one. Can I then build some sort of support mechanism so that any signals or things that may be relevant get communicated back to you? So that's what we call the support brain. Hey, we realized that you communicated with this person last week and you haven't reached out again. Here's some recommendations on what to reach out based on your previous conversations and your goals, right? Because it has context about your memory. Then we have sort of that coordination brain. Okay, how do you take all this information and put it into action? So that's sort of the missions. We need to understand, what is Andrew looking to achieve today, or a team, right? Because these things change over time. It's not, it's not simple. And lastly, we're going to have, all right, even if I want to do these things, I need to interact with the world. Like you said, now I need to actually broadcast a message. I need to maybe post something on LinkedIn or on Twitter, wherever it may be, right? So it's also doing that. And lastly is, how do you take all of these things and then apply it to a collective? How do I then take my knowledge, my information, and combine it so that it's 2 people, 3 or 4 coming together for collective intelligence? Because that's what doesn't exist right now. Everything has been built around the individual. We still don't have those mechanisms for collective intelligence to emerge. So that's sort of the sequential steps that we're looking to build, and the whole system is holistic, as it must be, because ultimately what we've learned during this past 3 years is, no matter what we do as human beings in our work or in our life, it breaks down to very simple things. Who do I need to talk to next? What do I need to communicate? What's the next action? That's it. That's literally all it is with connection. Then it's just, we have all the information scattered everywhere, and we're not used to that. It's like we have primitive brains living in a super complex society. We need to adjust.
Yeah, and we need new tools in order to coordinate at scale and have this kind of collective intelligence. And that's what you guys are building, which is awesome. And I love that we're starting to get into this roadmap of like what it wants to become, because I'm hearing that this is just like this is just the beginning. But I'm curious, like what's next? What's the next thing you're building? Give me like the next, say, 6 months of what you see as like of build and what we can hope for, look forward to.
First, before Paolo dives into the roadmap, first we're gonna get the entire team together for like a 1 week like retreat, like because it's exactly that alignment that needs to happen first. Like the moment Paolo and I moved together in the apartment, we live together, we eat together, we breathe together, we do everything together. We just build. He's on the product and vision side. I'm on like the go-to-market and sales side, and we just like complemented beautifully. So we know like this is supercharging everything. So that alignment not only on the platform but like needs to happen between us. And what we've achieved with our CTO in the past weeks has been insane. And after that, we have...
It's been quantum leaps.
Yeah. After that, we have a very clear roadmap of like what customers want, need, and is happening. So I will leave that to you now, Paolo. Dive into it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the first thing that we will start doing, as Mike said, is align on these things and build the scalable architecture, right? The MVP can scale, but to really serve millions like we want to make sure that we have this rock solid. Right, and that's the beautiful thing about Stefan is he has been building these systems for the past 40 years. So he knows exactly what to use. So we'll need to buy servers, we'll need to buy data, we'll need to, make sure to have everything in place and also do bring the team together. Right. So one or two more engineers. Exactly. One or two more engineers to help with that. Right. And the roadmap is really, you've kind of already mentioned to it. We first need to have those integrations in place. So the MCP layer, the API gateway, right? Make sure that we can communicate with all of the platforms and products that people are using for networking, communication, news, etc., so that we can bring those signals into O. That's number one. The second one is building the agentic capabilities. As you know, there's a lot of different products emerging like OpenClaw and things like that. So the industry has matured a lot when it comes to agentic frameworks. So state-of-the-art mechanisms to create personalized agents, integrations, and all of that is going to be crucial because O needs to be dynamic and modular. People need to come here and say, hey, these are the tools that I have. I already have an agent. Can I bring it and connect it with the O agents to help me do my work? Absolutely. So that's number two. And the third one, and this is, I think, the most long-term one, is really in this process, how do we start to have the go-to network mechanism and embrace the collective intelligence? So really start to partner with either first enterprise use cases or ecosystems that we want to co-build this with so that we can really start to get into that last layer. So that's really sort of the foundation. It's really take the learnings from the MVP, translate them into the first product where it's just essentially for an individual at this moment, right? Make sure that we have the right infrastructure and the right resources, and then just build. That's really all it is.
Yeah. Connecting it to email, LinkedIn messages, so you're able to communicate widely, connecting via integrations to CRM systems, so all the connections flow into it. Building that nodes mobile, so you can like reflect from your mobile via voice, building that memory, meeting connections like this. Everything we spoke about is our collective like shared knowledge and context. So all these things will flow into the platform within the next 1 or 2 years.
Tell me about like the data portability aspect, because that is something that's really important to me and to I know a lot of other people. Of like, okay, so like for example, I'm an Obsidian user, so I have all my notes in Obsidian, and I've recently connected Obsidian to Claude with the MCP, and it's kind of changed my whole workflow. It's incredible. So if I was able to plug that into what you guys are building, then that would just like be epic. And the question is then, I mean, there's obviously like privacy and security layers and all that, but I guess my question is like, if I said like I wanted, like, can I keep all my data? Is it on your roadmap for me to keep all my data from what you guys are building in on my machine? It's there. I'm not going to lose it if server goes down or if something happens, whatever. Like, what's the kind of portability plan?
Yeah, every circle you can it's literally just one download button, and it says like download as a CSV or download as a markdown. And because we know, and like we, as Paolo said, like that movement is coming, we're just the first ones to make that really public and be like, hey guys, like, why should we steal from each other when like we can bake a cake together? But everyone like is in their sovereignty that, hey, we respect your boundaries and we respect you as a human being, and your data belongs to you, not to us. We just help you to make use of it in the best way. But ultimately, it's you. It's yours.
We're a coordination layer. We're not a anything else, right? An extraction layer. No. Of course, the beautiful thing comes in, the more memory you build into the system, the more value it provides. But I think this is also, we didn't really get to touch into it so much, Andrew. But at Sumbios, regeneration and stewardship is one of our core values, right? So one of the core things that we want to look into as well, and that has put us together, is okay, we can build this powerful technology. Now what? What do we do with it? Right? How do we start to serve? How do we start to make sure that people have access to it? How do we make sure that we start to regenerate to ecosystems from it? I think this is really where we also want to invite people to come and say, hey, if I were to use this platform and I can give me the same intelligence as it provides, but the resources that they're, the exchange of input into going back into ecosystems or other things is greater, then those are the people that we want to work with.
Yeah, and that's maybe a nice place to bring it to a close. I'm wondering if we can future cast for a moment. Just imagine, let's say 2-3 years out when this is like really mature. What are some ways?
I mean, my personal vision that gives me so much energy and power, and just like what allows me to like go through all of this, is essentially that moment when I imagine myself being at a fundraising event of a regenerative NGO, and we help that NGO to be connected to those people who really like are engaged and want to fundraise that particular project of regeneration. And just that, like bringing those people together and regenerating our world, that is my ultimate, like, let's go. So we are in connection. We already like talked to a couple of NGOs, but of course, like we need to like provide something valuable to the market, so we as a startup can grow, and we see money as a resource in order to reinvest it, and we're becoming good at it. So, but then it's really about serving, like giving back, and ultimately, like our last shirt won't have any pockets, so it won't even matter. And the thing we're here to do is like provide a regenerative future for our children and the generations after. So let's just do something that is of value to them and to us. So yeah, that's really where I see this.
Yeah, and I think for me, the vision, and I think it's getting to that point where people truly understand what Sumbios means, because the word Sumbios means I am life. And it's that feeling of I'm connected, I'm supported, I'm part of something bigger than myself, and I get to contribute to it. And I know that my contribution is something that's bringing trust and helping others. And now I just want to understand how we can, make the most out of this. So that vision of unity, right, of oneness is for me when I would feel the job has been done. So, if someone comes and says to me, I was so lost, I didn't know that I was connected with people, and through I was able to find my next job, and then there I met my husband, and now I have 5 children, and I feel like I'm connected to life because it gave me hope. It helped me, take away all the noise and just get back to what's important to me, and it helped me reestablish those bonds, then I know we've done a great job. So that for me is the experience.
That's a beautiful vision from both of you. Thank you. Amazing. Okay, last question, which is, what do you guys, I know you're doing a raise coming up. If there are people that see this recording, what do you need? What are you looking for? I mean, so investors, funders, maybe we could even kind of hone in on what's your ideal funder? Like who would you love to partner with who could help support you? Or are there team members out there? Or are there, what ways could we support what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as you said, we also, for context, we're in the angel fundraising, so we're really looking for those angels, literally those builders that see okay, yes, this needs to be built. We want to support on, I don't know, product, marketing, go-to-market, sales, infrastructure, anything where they're okay, I could contribute to this beyond just financial investment, and those who have a big network and see the value of that network. So yeah, we're in conversation with a lot of angel syndicates, business angel networks, really all over Europe, Italy, Belgium, France, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. But still, we want to empower the builders and the connectors. So anyone who resonates with this and be okay, we're super happy to have a conversation.
And I would also say it's that, and in addition, those that are visionary enough to see that a new way forward is needed for the future. Those that deeply care about the implications that technology is going to have in our lives, and that understand that businesses need to be restructured in order to be of service of life. Because there's a big understanding that this technology will transform the job market. It will transform a lot of things. So there's a need for responsibility that we're looking forward as well in this, right? So I think that would also be something that would be extremely beneficial for us, because it's going to be a movement. This is not a simple technology. It's a change in complex behavior, right? So I think that access, that drive, those ideas, that weaving capacity is going to be crucial. And a lot of this, a lot of heart, just wanting to do good. I think that for me is super important.
Thank you. That's really good to hear. And to clarify, because you're calling it in right now. It's the more clear you can be with the kind of person you want to be working with, the kind of people you want to be working with, the qualities, the more that you're going to magnetize them. So I appreciate you expressing that. And yeah, thank you guys for this. And I know that I got an invite to use the beta, which I'm really excited about doing now. Is it open to other people? If somebody sees this and they're oh my God, I want to use that. How might they try it out?
Yes, so you can connect either on our website on Sumbios.ai, subscribe to the waitlist. It says try Nexus on the top right. Otherwise, there's also a contact button, and then you will directly speaking with me, and I'm happy to walk you through a demo of the beta, and then we find a good setup. So awesome. Excited to get you trying on it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
And I think also important to this, Andrew, our goal for this beta is really to bring between 20 to 50 users so that we can solidify the use case and the reliability and then expand, right? Because it's so new that we really want to make sure that when people come in, they have a good experience. So at first, we're really starting with 20 to 50 and then opening up progressively. That would also allow us to have these more one-on-one conversations where we want people to bring their ideas and feel like they're building it with us, all right? Because ultimately, that's what we believe it is. Build it for people, with people, for life. So hopefully we get to do that.
Well, I feel honored to be able to have this conversation with you guys and to get to be involved in that process.